Okay, welcome everyone. We'll start our fourth lesson. My name is Anjum Satha and my email address anjum@ukversity.co.uk. Please, if you have any question, if you listen to this recording, drop me email on my email address. Today lesson will go through our LO4, which is second last, our learning outcome. Before starting this lesson, first of all, we recap what we learned during our last three lessons. Okay, yes, please. Anything you remember what we learned during our last three lessons?
Analyzing macro environment.
Yes, we discussed micro and macro environment.
Yeah.
The resources and competencies.
Okay, yes,
Real.
good.
Yeah. BCG metrics.
BCDS Boston Consultant Group Met.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent, great. So we discussed about mission, visions, values. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We discussed about VRIO model.
Yeah.
Discuss resource-based view. We discussed 7S, McKinsey 7S approach.
Mm-hmm.
And today lesson will, and we discuss, strategy, implementation, strategic options. So today lesson will go through our LO4, and in LO4 we have three assessment criteria. We need to look around apply force field model, how we can apply, critically evaluate various models, and identify the leadership and the change agent and what sort of the skills required to be if we want to implement the change. So these are three assessment criteria which we'll go through today lesson.
Yeah.
So we'll start. And if you rate yourself, you can, let's, reflect. How much you know about change management? Are you involved in our organization? Any change? What
should be around 6.
6? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say the same.
So that's good, we can carry on reflecting. So we'll look in this lesson and we have 4.1, apply the force field model, and we'll apply in this. So first of all, before applying, we need to know why really this model we need to apply. Yeah. Straight away they said in the assessment criteria to apply. So first we need to develop why we need to apply. So first we need to look around the strategy. We need to develop it to apply it. Yes.
Yeah.
The strategy front we have, is it valid or not? So strategy is the direction and the scope of an organization of a long term, which achieve advantages in a changing environment. So that's why we want to be changed. Coronavirus, yes, we need to change. Behavior, we not used to stay home. It's difficult to stay home, but we have to change ourselves, yes, because the environment change. We need to think about like we not used to deliver a lot of courses in this distance learning, especially in universities, face-to-face environment, but now we have to change, yes. Maybe we were not competent to deliver online, we have to change and we deliver. Maybe working from home is a difficult so we need to think about. So resources and competencies within fulfilling the stakeholder expectation. So what competencies, what resources required for this? So new strategy, new chain. So then the strategic position, we need to be understand what is our front organization position, where we are, micro environment, industry and sector. We need to look around, competitor and market, opportunities and threats. Okay. Next, we need to look around resource and competencies. What resource and what competencies we have. We need to look around the cost efficiencies. We need to be focused on capabilities to achieve the sustainable competitive advantage. Whatever we are doing, why we are doing? Because we want to be competitive advantage, yes? We stay, we have our competitor and we sustain longer. Organizational knowledge, we need to be focused, and diagnostic and managing strategic capability. and we need to create and we need to be managed because if organizations work key workers are leaving, it means we're not managing capabilities. Yes,
Okay.
capabilities can be dependent with the passage of time. The capabilities we have today, it's not mean is it a fit with the environment forever. Like some people they don't want to be or they have a mindset they don't want to learn the new technology. They hate new technology. But we have to accept it. Yes, we have to increase the ability. It's not really we can't sustain it in the long run. Okay,
Yeah.
then any question?
No.
Nope.
Okay. Then we look around the strategic position, the purpose of the organization. We know why we are in the business. First, we need to clearly carry on recalling ourselves. What was our key mission? Why we were in the business? What is our vision? What are our values? Because we not contradict with any change, whatever we want to make it. We're not supposed to be yes against it. So change stay within those parameters. Corporate governance, of course, corporate governance we all aware of how we can govern because there are the new governance rules as well. Especially in the board, we is required the employees representation. We need a union representation. We're supposed to be a non-executive member. If you want to be changed, you take them all on board because the reason is the stakeholders can be create a lot of problem for you in the long run. Business and ethics and CSR. So what is the CSR?
Corporate social responsibility.
Okay, why is for the change is important? Corporate social responsibility. We can change without looking corporate social responsibility. So what's come under CSR first, sir?
The social aspect of the business environment, the people surrounding.
Brilliant. So we can say three P's. Yes,
Yes.
profit. We need to be for sustainability. We need to focus planet and people.
The
Yes.
people.
So we need economic, social. Yes, and environmental. All we need to be focused. And the social is more about the people, welfare.
Yeah.
But of course, the welfare is not only the people you give them money, but you look after them environment. Yes, that's also is welfare.
Okay.
So stakeholders expectations. Yes, what stakeholders are, what their expectations are. We need to be in stakeholder mapping. Value, mission, vision, and objective we know, and we need to be keep in mind when we want to be implement the change. Okay. Then sometimes a big problem in our organization we have is a culture. Yes, do we know what is the definition of culture?
Hmm.
The practices of the people in the company, the norm.
Yes, well done.
Yes.
Norms, values, the business, the organizational structure is represent the culture. Like in UK, we used to be company called this Saveway, and this merged with Morrison. Morrison took over, and one of other supermarket, 250 store I think so were in back in 2005, but they only managed to be change the store layout according to Morrison around 50 stores. That's 200 stores they sold to the other investors. The reason is because even the takeover cost was less than the change according to own culture, according to layout. It was easy for organization to be open more shops themselves instead of our takeover happen because it's a costly process and maybe it's totally different than your culture and another organization culture. Okay, so we need to look around those issues. Strategic positioning, we learn about uh, 7S approach as well, but this is maybe you heard about the cultural web. Cultural web is given this model by the Johnson and Scholl, And he said, when you want to be trained, you need to look around because it's a big culturally shift. You need to look around the symbol, you need to look around the power structure, you need to look around the organization structure, you need to look around the control system, you need to look around what are the stories in the past, yes, all these,
Yeah.
what paradigm, you want to shift it, and that's all, we need to look around before change. Role of cultural web is used to map organization culture as it now, and the process is repeated to identify how the culture is intended to be new, then highlight the difference between two, and the differences are the change needed to be made. So that's why you need to be, and because sometimes it's culture, because people mindset is difficult to change in our organization. So you do the lot of argument. You do not one go, but do in is a continuous improvement. Okay. Then when we look this, then the Johnson and School further is very well in this pyramid, especially look around, and he said we need to look around operational level choices. Yes, we
Yeah.
need to look around the business level. When we do the business level, any changes, operational level, we can make changes. Strategic business unit, SBUs. We know SBUs, yes.
Yeah.
We look the strategy clock. One of the strategies. On the clock we learn about last the previous lessons,
Yeah.
and is sustainable advantage. We need to be how we can achieve sustainable advantage, because advantage we have today, maybe other they will adopt it and we don't have the advantage. Hyper competition, because is some industries really hyper competition, and game theory. We need to understand the game. As they change, we need to be look around how we will react it, because the strategy is all about warfare, yeah, between two are many competitors. Unsoft metric. Do we know unsoft metric? How many
No.
you know
Yeah, yeah,
we dis I think so we discuss is a market penetration, yes. Existing
yes,
product, existing market development, yes.
Okay.
Is existing product into new market, then product development, new product into existing market, that can be a strategy, and diversification, it can be new product in new market. There are four types of strategies according to the Agor. Ansaf was one of Russian. He was the mathematician. He gave this approach, and it's used. It's very popular in when we develop the strategies.
Okay.
Then BCG metrics we already know. What is the BCG stand for? We already discussed. Is called Boston Consultant. Is product portfolio. We know the product portfolio. Yes. Star, cash cow, problem child. Yes. Those
Yeah.
four tricks we discussed. And the McKenzie 7S. Yes. And the G is called General Electric metrics. Huh? It's not thoroughly discussed, but we can in next lesson. Huh? We can relate as well. Okay, that's all about. We need to look around strategic choices, innovation, and entrepreneurship. Yeah, we need to be balanced, anticipating innovation. Innovation is also change. Yes, you want to bring something new. Risk involved in innovation. You need to look around the risk. You try to be minimized, and deciding between the different opportunity for innovation. Innovation not mean law is you totally change the organization. Innovation can be maybe you think about the simple delivering meetings, like we can use Skype, or we can use WebEx meeting, or various other meeting tools. Instead of you call physical, we need to be innovation. So
Okay.
then integration, structured processes, and relationship we need to look around within, and then when making strategic change need to be considered. What we need to be considered? What time is available? Yes, how much time? What is the scope of the change? You want to be changed. Why you want to be changed? Because sometimes some managers have, like a mindset, they want to be changed and the people can recognize I'm a new person here. Huh? Shift pattern will be changed without any reason, yes. Color
Yeah.
scheme will be changed without any reason. You need to think about why, yes. Because at the end of the day, any change, it should be a productive. If any change not productive, what's the point to bring the change? Is the for the sake of, yes? If the country is running smooth and you want to be like sake of, just as a reference, like Obama's health policy and the Trump want to be rid of, huh? And or the various others like environmental agreement. You need to think about, yes, you want to be changed. Why? What is the purpose behind it? What
Okay.
aspect of the current situation need to be preserved? How diverse are the people experience, views and opinion across organization? Who is available to manage the change? Because change need to be managed, otherwise can be a big problem. Who will negotiate with the stakeholders? Yes. Who will inform them? Who will communicate with them? Communication is very important. What resources are available for the change? Yes, we want high tech company, but we don't have a money. How we can make companies a high tech? Yes. How ready people are people to change? We need to think about people are ready for change or not. So first of all, we need to be, in the UK when the government start, smoking bans. So first they stop the advertising on smoking. Yes. Then they
Yeah.
start sponsoring, the sports sponsoring of advertising. They stopped. Then they stopped on the public places, especially pubs, bars. Yes. Then on the public transport. Then and even in your own house you can't smoke, in front of kids. So these are the step by step. Yes, people accept it. Otherwise, can be a huge everything stop in a one go. Okay, then force field model is quite good model and is quite, we need to think about when we'll change something. According to this model, we need to look around. According to this model, some forces are the driving forces for change and some forces are restraint forces. Yes, those doesn't want to change or don't like to change. Yes, so those forces we need to identify and we need to work on them. Yeah, if you
Yeah.
really want. So you need to be, maybe these are strong and your driving forces are poor, you can't really implement the change. Yeah? Yes, anti forces is. So what, like union doesn't want to be, they want to be put or take the worker on strike. Huh? And you need to be
Yeah.
negotiating. What aspect of the current situation could block the change, and how could we overcome these, if at all? What aspect of the current situation could help bring change in, and could we reinforce these all? What other aspect need to be introduced to help the bring the change? Yes, like maybe recruitment selection policies. Maybe you need a new talent to be bring the change. Yes, maybe we need to look around the new IT system. Yeah, anti-forces people are, maybe we have a certain age group with respect, so we need to think about maybe they doesn't want to change themselves. Yeah, because some people, because they think old fashion was the best fashion. Yeah, but of
Yeah.
course you have to change. So according to Levin, he gave this model, force field model. He's saying the forces driving and the forces restraint. Yes, where there is an equilibrium between two set of forces, there will be a no change. Yes,
Yeah.
there are the driving forces and there are the restraint forces and compromise, so there won't be any change. Yes, in order for the change to occur, driving forces must be exceed the restraint forces. So your driving forces, the people, those that drive them, they have lot of skills and abilities to do, can convince them, other people to, yes, implement. Otherwise, of course, it's your restraint forces. People not mentally want to be changed. If the leader have an influence, yes, the leader has the ability to, then they can implement the change in the countries. Yes. So that's,
Yeah.
the leader. style is very important. Investigate the balance of power involved in an issues. Balance of power. Look around the key stakeholders. Identify the opponents and allies. Those are in. Identify inf- uh, how to influence the target group. Yes, those are. You need to be make sure when we apply this force field model, and we need to be follows all these points. Huh? Okay, then in 3 steps, further is one other model we can relate even in our next 4.2 as well. We supposed to be discussing different model of chain. So according to this model, which is will further give 3-step model as well: unfreeze, chain, and freeze. Unfreeze, freeze, and chain. That provide high approach. According to this is one of the cycle. Unfreeze. First, you need to be unfreeze. You chain in the mind because they were freeze. Yes, on that you need to be unfreeze them. Yes, then you do the chain. So make radical chain, minimize disruption if anything happen in, and make sure the chain adopted permanently. Yes,
Yeah.
it's not. Okay. So unfreezing is preparing people for chain. First thing you have to do, prepare people for chain. Yes. Maybe you call the meeting, you give them facts and figures, like in the past British Gas, when they closed their sale channel, they involved the people. They said, look, because the technology change, people really don't want to buy things on those steps. What to do? So they make, and we will give different opportunity to people, different other part of the organization. Yeah. Otherwise that, but and we'll give you the package those want to be voluntarily redundant. So that's you make it. So chain, making the chain, and yes, refreezing, embedding the change. We need to embed the change. So this is the model. Yes, we can start with unfreeze. Yes, chain and freeze. Huh? So we can move this direction with the time. Okay, overcome when we have some people don't want to be changed, so we need to think about part of unfreezing. Our existing behavior will be breakdown. Those don't want to be changed in the action taken by the individual and the groups, and perceive the change. This overcome is a threat to them. So we need to be look around. We say not is a threat, it's opportunity. Yes, we need to change the minds as well. So job factor, fear of technology. Technology will bring unemployment, but maybe technology will bring more employment opportunities. Yes, depends which sector we are talking about. Fear to change of working condition. So we need to look around. Reason for these why people don't want, personal factor can be. We need to look around. Social factor can be. That's why people don't want to be changed. Maybe the culturally people used to do things, yes, and they don't want to change. Any question?
No.
No.
Okay, then of course we can look around leadership style, different leadership style, a participation, education, and all, and different methods we can use to be overcome. So we can look around the education, we can look around the power, and maybe we can look around how what sort of punishment can those people don't want to be. Facilitation and support, manipulation and the negotiation. All these we can do by making the policies in place. Okay, any question there?
Nope.
No.
Okay, so there is this is I already copied the link as well. Yes, is a Kaplan if you want to be some cases. Yes, this
Okay.
is GlaxoSmiths. Huh? When they make the change. Yes, example how they apply. Glasgow views change ongoing process rather than the series of program. Yes. They generally mean the change, the time scales, or the thought of in years rather than in months. Yes,
Okay.
in years, not months. If you want, it also allows the emphasis on ongoing alignments. Yes, and change. We need to look around. Permanent organization development unit exists in different levels because, of course, GlaxoSmithKline is a big company. Pharmaceutical, yes, you need cash and resources. So there are the lot of examples. So if you want to look, is the link there within our slide. I'll copy here as well, so we can
Okay, thanks.
read. Okay. Next, now we're looking 0.2, critically evaluate various management models. Yes, which we discussed. Freeze, unfreeze, yes, and chain. We discuss Levin's force field model as well. Yes. So further we look different models. So chain can be classified extent to chain required and speed. So we can look around in this. You want to be transformation. This is the incremental chain. Speed of chain, big bang. Revolution, yes, transformational chain that occur via instant. Many. So we need to be more likely to be force and reactive because of the chain is competitive conditions. Realignment, adaptation. So this is the chain undertaken to realign the way in which the organization operates, implement the series of steps. So you need to be look around extend chain and the speed of chain. This is a metric. Yes. So incremental of the big bang. Big bang is mean yes big changes, and reconstruction, totally unit chain the organization. There we are all scrapping the divisional level managers, not anymore. Yes, we're not required. So you need is a big chain will be yes. Everything will be moved toward the centralized instead of decentralized. We're taking power from the cons. Everything will be in. So we just take of example. Chain undertaking realign the way which the organization operates with the many initiative implement. So we need to be look around all this and we can do the chain. This is one of the model. Yes, we can look around big bang and incremental. Then we have a quoted one of the author. He gave us 8 steps model. So he said when you want to be chain, you look around 8 steps. Establishing a sense of urgency, examine the market and the competitive reality, identify, discuss the crisis and potential crisis or opportunity. Second, you do forming a power guidance for and the team, assembling the group enough power to lead the change effort. Yes, you give them creating a vision, create a vision to help direct the change effort and develop strategy for achieving that vision. That's communicate the vision, your organization, that's why you want to be changed. Teaching new behaviors, yes, is you need to empowering others to act on the vision where you want to be, yes, getting the rid of obstacles for the change. Change the system or the structure that seriously undermine the vision. You need to be. Or maybe you need to change the people, those are encouraging risk taking and non-traditional ideas, planning and creating short-term wins, planning for visible performance improvement, creating those improvements, and recognizing and rewarding employees. Give them reward, yes, involve them. So take their confidence, yes. I mean they should then and consolidation need to be improvement and producing still more change, yeah? And then institutionalize new approaches. So these are the 8 steps which is given in this model, and we can follow these 8 steps. Porter 8-step model of change.
Okay.
Any question?
Nope.
So we discuss Levin's force field model. We discuss about other model is unfreeze, free change and freeze. Yes, and then individual is quite, they don't want to change. Selective prospect perception, habit, misunderstanding, inconvenience, or the loss of freedom, economic implications, securities in the past, and the fear of the unknown, and no one like change. Yeah? So we need to think about organization. Those are really don't want to be changed. We need to look at undefined goals and objectives. That's why financial environmental issues. That's why the lack of resources and the bad resource allocation, insufficient communication. That's what we need to be look around, which we already mentioned in the force field model. What are the forces? Structural, we need to look around. Lack of perception, maybe lack of bad leadership and cultural issues. Okay, then the types of the change, which incremental and big bang, like we discussed in the previously, yes, in the other metrics as well, which is incremental and big bang. Big bang is you instantly change, yes, or you other is incremental, you change and in line. Okay, so we already discussed what time and scope will be in this, but we can relate under this learning outcome as well. Strategic change could be force field model help to manage the change. Yes, we can look around what to expect and the situation will help the change, and these questions we can ask. These are all the change, the model and the theories in different.
Okay.
We don't need a
That's
lot,
great.
maybe we can discuss two or three, yeah.
Right.
So
Okay.
great theory, trade theory, behaviorist theory, which is more common under leadership. Situational leader, that's also contingent theory. Whatever happen, you just follow it. Are the second plan and transactional theories. You change and think rather transaction every change, transformational theories. So these are all the chain theories. A different style to manage the chain. We can look around education, invention, participation, the punishment. We can look around the middle managers and other stakeholders. Yes, what their roles, and we should develop our communication strategies accordingly. And we learn about the freeze unfreeze model as well. When is unfreeze, ensure the employees are ready to change, execute intended change, and then refreeze. These steps we can follow, and then I'm not sure, have you learned our Harsberg hygiene factor?
Nope. Never heard of it.
Okay. The guy used to be work in General Electric company in America. He discovered that some factor in the in the job, it can called a hygiene factor. Some is called or we call two factor. Some are satisfactor factor, some is unsatisfy you. So something need to be above than certain hygiene satisfaction level, other is implies will complain. So we need to look around. This is also known as a two factor theory. Yes, two factor, you need to look around the motivator factor and demotivator. Yes, those are demotivator factor, you need to be work on it for the chain. So that's called hygiene. Hygiene you have to be work to remove it. Yeah. So that's this is theory, which normally will do a lot of in HR. So we need to think away from thinking versus towards thinking. Yes, I want to avoid people being made redundant. I want to secure people jobs and livelihoods. Yes, that's our future. Yes, always though, but like no is a huge discussion, especially. Yeah, is it the government is giving the furlough scheme or helping people in UK? So so the job will carry on. Yes, economic activities won't stop. Huh? So communication strategies, we can look around this, we can create. So these all the points. Next we have 4.3, identify relevant leadership and change agent. What do you think? What sort of the skill required if you want to change something? Any choice.
Motivated.
Motivation,
Yeah.
motivating, or we can call interpersonal skill. You understand, yeah? Because
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
dealing with people, which is very difficult in the real world. Huh? Everybody have a different mindset, yes. So
Yeah.
to put in your way, you want to work. They will work your ways. It's not an easy task. So we need to be leadership, yes, is quite influential, yes, and leaders should be anticipate, prepare, and get position for the future, yes. Leader must be tuned to be signal, yes, whatever the signal is coming, well aware of, informative, yes, inspirational, good interpersonal skill, ability to solve and complicated problem, ability to plan, opportunist ability. Whenever opportunity come, quickly avail it, yes. Like many companies maybe avail it opportunity during coronavirus even, especially PPEs, yes, personal protection equipments and things, selling
Yeah.
companies. So who are the strategic leaders? Are individual upon the strategy developed and the chains are seen to be dependent. Huh? These can be our strategic leader, which is long term, they can drive the organization. That's why called strategic level, top level. Any question there?
No.
Okay.
Nope.
Middle level managers are linking between senior management team and the rest of the organization. They have a responsibility to helping their staff through the chain process. So they undertake the personal chain, they help the team through the chain, they implement the necessary change in their parts of the business, and they keep the business going. The change agent, what is meant by agent is mean you're working for, or we use the word stewardship, yes? Like auditor or the director or the steward for the shareholders, because they not actually own the business, they are is owned by the shareholders. Huh? Whether the internal or external, the change agent is the central to the process and the useful helping organization define the problem in the cause, diagnose the solution and help appropriate the course of action, implement the change. And then skills, we abilities, what required, imagination to be innovative, professional to be perform, openness to be collaborate. Yes, these all skills required. And then Cantor identify these skills, turning into tuning in to the environment, need to be well aware of environmental changes, challenges to prevailing the organization wisdom and learning to preserve skills of managers communicating, need to be building coalitions, transferring ownership to work as a team and making everyone as a hero. Okay, that's the key, the things which we discuss in this skills. So first we have only four field model. Second we can discuss different model, and the third we can only discuss the skills. Huh? And the link is there further, and really we need to focus on. Any question?
Nope.
No.
Okay, so we'll keep up to here. If you have any question, please just drop me email. So today lesson we learn about force field model. We discuss about other different models of chain. We discuss about Big Bang and incremental chain, and we discuss unfreeze chain and freeze theory as well. And we discuss different leadership style required to be if you want to be chain, and ultimately chain is good to be in an organization for competitive advantage, but chain try to be minimize the disruptions in the organization. Chain will bring the more productivity in our organization, not undermine the current productivity. So we need to be look around all these factors and environmental, social, and cultural factors as well. So if you have any question, please drop me email, and hope so I'll speak you during our next lesson in lesson 5, which will be last lesson, and then we'll discuss assignment as well. In the meanwhile, if you have any questions, please drop me email. Thanks for attending.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.